Welcome back to Bartow Arena in the SEC Gymnastic Championships. Georgia's Chelsea Bird is ranked number 2 in the nation in floor exercise. And how many times has she come close to scoring a perfect 10? 5. Count them, 5. There's the list, and that's just this year. So can she do it tonight?
She definitely has what it takes. She can tumble up a storm. Performance is beautiful. Chelsea has really stepped it up this year with the loss of Marlene Stevens when she tore her ACL at the beginning of the season. It really forced her to step it up on all 4 events, and she's getting the job done. Unfortunately, tonight she missed on beam, scored an 8.8. That definitely dropped her out of that all-around battle.
But a big score here in floor exercise can certainly help the Georgia team, and they are really in a struggle right now with Alabama. The spoiler Florida operation has not quite come to pass. They are locked in a battle with LSU for 3rd in this SEC championship. The only 10 in floor exercise this season, April Burkholder of LSU, the freshman. Maybe we should add so far to that, because so far, so good for Chelsea Bird.
She is definitely hungry for a 10 here. In the past, some of her landings have stopped her from getting those big scores, or at least the perfect score, but not a problem here.
Big scores are not a problem. 9.975, 5 times. Chelsea Bird will now wait for the judges to see if she can improve on that.
You're starting to see Chelsea come out of her shell a little bit. 9.975.
For the 6th time this year, Chelsea Bird close, but not perfect.
Talked about her coming out of her shell. She almost comes out of the arena on this opening tumbling pass. A whip back to a full in. Definitely one of the most difficult tumbling passes of the night.
Another athlete capable and, in fact, having recorded the perfect 10s this season, Gina Rice of Alabama. She has done it in vault, and take a look at her on balance beam. This was back in January at Georgia. And right after Corey Fritzinger had scored a perfect 10 on the beam as well. So in a hostile environment at Georgia, Gina Rice delivers.
2 10s in this conference on beam, an event that you don't often see a 10 on. It tells you a couple things. One, about the talent that we have in this conference, and also that these top teams who are going to vie for the national title are making beam a priority. They're training the extra numbers on this event, and it's showing up in the scores.
And for Gina Rice and Corey Fritzinger to have both scored a perfect 10 also shows you how difficult it is for one or the other of these teams to get an edge in a competition of this stature.
Nailing a layout with a little smirk on her face.
She knew it.
You can see the Georgia fans standing up and cheering. Chelsea Bird's 9.975, another 9.975. She desperately wants that 10, but still that is a big score for Georgia, and it hasn't fazed Gina here.
Gina Rice maintaining her concentration in her own little zone.
Top athletes love to compete in this type of competition where they're going head-to-head with their competitors. Each athlete is hitting matching scores. She could match that 9.975 here easily.
Beautifully done for Gina Rice, and the joy on her face was very real. That wasn't for the judges. Sarah and David Patterson coming over to congratulate her. 9.95. Not quite a 9.975, but very close. And Alabama is definitely getting the job done here in this 3rd rotation for them, along with the 3rd rotation for Georgia.
Sarah believes she wouldn't want anyone else to anchor the beam lineup.
For Florida, Kara Waterhouse, they could certainly use her skill and talent here tonight. She is out due to injury, that to her right foot. And for Florida to mount that spoiler challenge here in the SEC Championships, they would need every single cylinder of their engine firing. And unfortunately, they're without a very important part of their lineup here tonight. But Aaron Pendleton will go for Florida on uneven parallel bars.
And Aaron scored a 10 earlier this season. So we're expecting big stuff from her.
The only SEC athlete to score a perfect 10 on uneven bars, not tonight apparently.
A little close right there on her Jaeger. Oh, and her hand slips. She caves on her bail to handstand.
Wow, sometimes when it goes wrong, it goes really wrong.
One of the best teams in the nation on bars, and this is one of your best bar workers in the conference and in the country. A big miss for Florida.
Ouch, that's going to hurt. 9.3. They do discard one of the 6 scores in each rotation.
Take a look at her right hand there. It misses the bar. She's unable to maintain that handstand position. That's a
battle for third between LSU, Florida, and Auburn. And we're going to see Auburn's Mary Nell Pate.
You know, we heard Jeff touch on it. They've had a few upsets and a few close competitions with some of those big teams like Alabama, Georgia, LSU, and Florida, and that really builds confidence in the athlete. These girls are getting a taste of that success and what it's like to win.
Senior Mary Nell Pate, one of those athletes recruited by Coach Thompson, who's in the background there watching. His wife Rochelle in the foreground doing much the same, coaching from the sidelines. And so their program is really coming to fruition from start now to finish for the seniors like Mary Nell Pate.
And Mary Nell really has come a long way. She started as a walk-on, earned her scholarship her freshman year, and I've seen her gymnastics just skyrocket. She's cleaned up her form, her performance is there, and I'd say she's probably in the best condition she's ever been in her career.
Showing off a little bit on floor exercise, a chance for the Auburn fans in the house to get a little excited. Mary Nell trying to raise the roof of Bartow.
Mary Nell has been such a positive force on this team. Always staying upbeat, even when they've gone through some of their problems with injuries in the past.
Mary Nell Pate finishing up 9.875. Nice score on floor exercise. And Auburn remains in the thick of that battle for third with performances like this.
This is a really excited Auburn team. They have already qualified to the regional championships. Mary Nell will help lead them there, opening big with a whip to go back.
We go now to Florida's Orly Smooch, a season high of 9.9 on balance beam, and a very dramatic mount of this apparatus.
The teams are always full of very unique skills and combinations. See the handstand into the layout. Often you see the gymnast do a back handspring before that. It kind of takes you by surprise.
We've come to expect the unexpected with young Orly Smooch. Here are teammates in the background. Come on, O. Again, Florida, LSU, and Auburn really kind of neck and neck right now.
Florida made some costly mistakes on bars, and they have to pick up ground here. Oh, and a solid routine by Orly. Great job.
That'll do it. If picking up ground is the order of business, they just gained some real estate. 9.875 for Orly Smooch. Not a season high, not quite anyway, but a very good score indeed. Over to Taryn Martinjack now for LSU. Again, LSU, the Tigers, they're really involved in this third place battle, as it turns out right now anyway, in the SEC Championship.
Handspring front pike scored it of a 9.9. Beautiful position in the air, good distance and height. Just that step on the landing. It's going to score well.
9.8 for Taryn Martinjack. Goes back to Dee Bro. Take another look.
The only deduction I would take here, look, her legs are glued together. The only deduction is that tiny step on the landing.